former Arkansas Razorback assistant, and now head coach at East Central University. Chris Crutchfield now joins us. Coach, good morning. Thanks for making some time for us. I remember my dad coached me in basketball from the kindergarten through the 6th grade. There were some good times, there were some bad. But when you think about the opportunity to coach your sons, Josh and Jalen, how exciting is that to do at the college level?
Good morning, Ty and Tommy. Thanks for having me on. You know what? This is something that we really never talked about and never even imagined having the opportunity to do. And then it came about, and we're elated, we're excited, and really I wanted to make sure that the kids was okay with it because they all had their respective scholarships, they had their locations, they had their thing going at a different place. And I wanted to make sure it was okay with them before we even had an opportunity to do it. So I'm excited, guys, and I'm sure I'm going to be picking up the phone and talking to a lot of people who've been in this situation, who coach their kids, and I'm probably sure I'm going to read a couple of books on it here in the next month or so.
Coach, you've had a chance to learn under some really good head coaches, Eric Musselman, your previous job, Lon Kruger, and some others. Of those two guys, what were some of the big takeaways that you learned that getting back into head coaching?
I'll tell you what, Eric is really, really detail-oriented. He covers a lot of things. He leaves nothing unturned as far as going into a game and a game preparation, from the jump ball alignment to the way you sit on the bench. He's very detail-oriented. I picked up some things from him just in game prep, his energy, his passion, and, of course, his social media presence, which is unlike no other program in the country. And also with Lon. Lon is a really smart X's and O person. He can look at a defense and figure out how to counter it. He can look at an offense and figure out how to beat it. And he's really a smart basketball player. So I had an opportunity to spend 8 years with him and just pick his brain about the X's and O's of basketball and just how to run a program and how to run it the right way and how to treat your kids. And I've been truly, truly blessed, Ty and Tommy.
So you were in from day one with Coach Musselman. You saw how to transform, change, lay the foundation for a program in the first year, the way Eric Musselman has done it. What will you take away from that when you're trying to lay your own foundation in Ada, Oklahoma at a Division II level?
I think, first of all, you have to get buy-in from your kids, from the players. They have to understand exactly where you're at. Then you have to meet them where they're at. Then you guys have to join forces. So the buy-in is big in those first 2 to 3 months. Once you can get everybody swimming the same direction, that's the first key to taking over a new program. I'm going into a place that was winning, and they had some culture and they had some things going for them. So it won't be as hard as to change a culture to get them to think about winning. My job now going into East Central is going to be just to elevate the program and get to a point where we're competing for conference championships every year, and even hopefully for a national championship at the Division II level. So every situation is different. I mean, going into Oklahoma, we had a program that had won 14 or 15 games in the previous 2 years. So we had to make a major drastic cultural change. Coming into here with Eric, it wasn't as drastic just because the previous team had won 18 games. Mm-hmm. But we also had to make sure we do some things differently and getting guys to understand the purpose, the work ethic, and that kind of thing. So I'm excited about the opportunity. I'm ready to be a head coach again, and even more excited about having the opportunity to coach my boys.
Is that the allure, is the coaching the sons of being a head coach? Because leaving after the first year and honestly taking a sizable pay cut, a step down in divisions, to some people on the outside looking in, they don't understand how, or they wouldn't personally make that decision. Walk us through your thought process and the timing of it right now, because I'm sure you can understand from fans on the outside looking in, trying to figure out why you would leave Arkansas to go to a Division II school and take a sizable pay cut to do it.
And the main reason, Tommy, is the opportunity to be around my kids. And I'll tell you guys this, a lot of people don't understand what this job is like at this level, at the highest level, and you're recruiting all the time. You're on the road all the time. If not, you're on your phone all the time. So I think over the years, I've missed a lot of my kids' sports. I've missed a lot of opportunities to see them do things that most kids have their dad at games or out in the backyard being able to shoot with them. And I haven't had a chance to do that in about, 10 or 12 years. And I miss that. And having my kids home during the pandemic and getting a chance to spend a lot more time with them because they was both in college and they both had to come back. And I realized how much time that I had missed and that I'm missing. And they're growing up right in front of my face. And, and that's the thing that just hit me right in my heart and say, you know what? You need to take advantage of an opportunity like this and get a chance to spend and reconnect and get back that family time and get back a better work-life balance. Yeah. And that was the major reason why I wanted to do this.
You only get one chance to be a dad, don't you?
You got that right. You can make more money later on in life, I guess.
Hey, I can respect that.
Chris Crutchfield, head coach at East Central University, former Razorback assistant with us here on the Morning Rush. Coach, you've made a lot of headway across college basketball in your recruiting, and you're actually, according to The Athletic, one of the top 30 up-and-coming coaches in college basketball. What do you think has made you such a successful recruiter at the collegiate level?
I would just like to say that I'm just a people's person. I'm a person who's very genuine. I'm very sincere when I speak to you or try to sell a university or try to sell myself or sell my head coach. I'm just going to be, as the kids say, 100 with you as much as I can, because I think that's what people want. People want honesty. People want to be around people that have integrity, that have great character. And I just try to do that and treat people right. And it's benefited me in building relationships with different families across the country, and hopefully it's benefited every university that I've been at. And that's it. And there's no secret to it other than just trying to treat people right and be honest and be upfront. And then you got to work hard at it. You just work hard at it. And as you know, if you're working hard as a coach and you spend a lot of time doing that, you're probably not balanced out as much as you need to be. So hopefully this will give me the opportunity going down a level and get a chance to balance this out.
And Coach, on the note, in recruiting, you were instrumental of getting Trey Young to go to Oklahoma. I've read a couple stories on your relationship with Buddy Hield, his youth coach, and how you were on him early, getting him to also be a Sooner. When you look back at that process, what went through it with getting two of the best college players in the last decade up to Norman and Trey Young and Buddy Hield?
And both situations started really early, and you have to have an eye for being able to project where you think guys are going to be. I saw Buddy when he was 14 years old, a little skinny kid in the Bahamas. Didn't know, but he had something about him, something that just stood out. Didn't know he was going to be what he is today at all, but he had something that drew me to him. And I started the process early. The same with Trey. As soon as I moved to Norman, Trey was an 8th grader. My son was a 7th grader. I'm watching the 7th grade game and watching the 8th grade game, and he was getting 30 points in 2 quarters. And I knew he was going to be special too. I just, so I said, hey, just let's jump in here and start working and start building relationships. And each one of them was different in their own way, just because Buddy was in a different country and Trey was right there in my backyard. So it was all about building relationships, all about getting them to understand we both on the same page here. Let's work and put our passions together and build a relationship. And it really worked out. And I've been fortunate to coach two, not just special basketball players, Tommy and Ty, really, really good people and great kids. And they're going to end up being great husbands and great fathers.
Chris Crutchfield is with us here on the Morning Rush. He's been at the University of Arkansas for the past season with Eric Musselman. He's now the head coach at East Central University in Ada. You mentioned the work demands, always on your phone, always recruiting. If it's not that, you're at practice. Walk us through what a typical day is for one of the top assistants in an SEC program. What is your day like? Because I don't think the average person understands the demands. And from what I'm hearing from you, you're trying to get the work-life balance. Help us understand why that balance is needed, because it's so imbalanced right now with the demands of the job.
Yeah, no doubt. Not just for me, for everybody around the country, just because it's so competitive and you're trying to keep up with everybody else around the country. So you constantly don't want a minute or a second to go by where you're not trying to have an impact or influence someone's decision. So, I mean, it's a 24, 16-hour job just because you get up in the morning. I mean, you probably got 3 or 4 emails and 10 texts that came through overnight that you got to get back to people. And, I mean, you're starting right on my drive into the office at 7:45 in the morning. I'm on the phone calling someone, whether it be an AAU coach, a parent, texting a kid, and that cycle starts the whole time on the phone. When you walk in the office, I'm on the phone. Then, of course, there's a staff meeting. We're meeting about the day, the practice, what we're going to do. Then you go back to your office and working on the game. Not to mention, if you had a game prep of the upcoming opponent, you're watching film. You're trying to get the team ready for that. Also, then you go into the practice floor. When you get off the practice floor, hopefully you got time to squeeze in a 30 to 45-minute workout. You may not, depending on what's happening. Then you're back on the phone recruiting. And then you're recruiting all the way up until, the evening time. And this is the thing that people don't understand. I might make 25 to 30 calls during the day. I don't reach all those people. So as I'm walking in the door at 7 o'clock or 6:30, trying to get ready to eat dinner with my family, of course, those people that I missed, they're calling me back.
Mm. Well, I don't know if your house is anything like mine. I'm sure it is, that when your phone's ringing and you're having to look at your phone at an important family moment like the dinner table or a discussion, and then you're reaching because it's an important work call. Now all of a sudden, Mama Bear ain't very happy either about your phone activity.
And that's it. And you're walking in on the phone, and then when it rings, you say, "Hey, honey, I got to take this call.
This is really important.
I missed this guy today. I got to take this call. This guy's 6'10", is going to be a pro. I got to take it."
Yeah. You're always recruiting the wife to understand why the need for that phone call is got to be done now.
No doubt. And then you're on the phone for 45 minutes. Your dinner is cold. And you go back to the table. Everybody looking at you like,
"Oh, they're mad.
Are you serious? Are you serious?"
Yeah.
So then that cycle continues up until 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. So I just say, I'm not going to talk to you anymore. I'm going to bed. I'm going to try to have some normalcy. So that's the day. That's the day, and that's the typical day of most college coaches at this level.
Coach Chris Crutchfield with us here on the Morning Rush. Coach, on the note of recruiting, you're playing in the conference you're entering. You're playing a lot of Arkansas schools. How much?
Exactly.
And you're not too far. You're about 2.5 from where we are here in Fort Smith. How much time do you think you'll be spending, since you know the area well, since you've been here the past year? How much time do you think you'll be spending recruiting high school basketball players in the state of Arkansas?
Oh, I think I'm going to do it a lot. Because this is what I've learned, and I always knew this, and I know it now for sure. There's really good players in Arkansas. Very underrated guys that don't get the attention, don't get the publicity that they need. And a lot of them do fall into that Division II category. A lot of them are trying to go to prep school to elevate their recruitment. I do know that. But there's a bunch of good players in Arkansas that I'm going to try to tap into and get a couple. And hopefully help us produce a winning program at East Central. Yeah. But no, Arkansas is a very talented, very, very talented state, man. And a lot of people just don't know how talented it is.
Coach, on that note, we've talked to a couple recruiting people on this show, but I want to get your perspective as a head coach now. So with Moses Moody and KK Robinson, guys that you had something to do with them coming to Arkansas, they chose a path where they went to a high school preparatory, and they left Arkansas. Moses won a state championship. KK stood out at both, and he won a state championship at Episcopal as well. And they went the prep route. And both of them said that it really helped them in their development of the game. Do you see not only inside the state of Arkansas, but other top high school kids at just regular, normal high schools venturing out more and going to more prep schools if we continue to see success with other guys doing that?
I don't think it's going to be a thing that's going to happen like that. I think every case is different. I know Moses' case was different. He wanted to be challenged and pushed more than feel like he was going to get that at North Little Rock or in the state because he had higher expectations. KK was similar. KK wasn't getting recruited at this level until he left to go to Oak Hill. And I think every kid, every family situation, their dynamics are all different. Some guys will want to compete at a higher level. Some guys will want to elevate their recruitment. And some guys probably going for academic reasons. I mean, everybody's case is different. I don't think kids are just going to be flooding out of the state of Arkansas just to go to prep school because some previous people have done it. But I can see one or two guys doing that just because they want a bigger challenge.
What's your level of familiarity with the Great American Conference and with Division II basketball?
Oh, I know. I occupy on a lot of basketball. I watch a lot of basketball. So being in both states in the last 9 years, so I've had a chance to watch it. I'm very familiar with a lot of those coaches. A lot of them are my friends, people that I know that I see on the recruiting trail. So very, very familiar with Southern Nazarene. Very familiar with Oklahoma Baptist, and Terry Evans and I over at Southwest Oklahoma are friends. He's a former OU player. I know most of the guys at the Arkansas schools, at Henderson State, and very good friends with Dennis Nutt at Ouachita. So, I know the league. Very familiar with it. It's a really good league. People don't realize there's a bunch of Division I players playing in Division II in this league. So you're going to have to get prepared, and it's a very competitive league.
Yeah, better get prepared for some long bus rides, too.
Yeah.
You know what? And I'm looking forward to that. I'm telling you, I'm looking forward to it.
Good family bonding time. Coach, we'll top off the interview with this.
Sure.
I remember watching Buddy Hield on the road, Allen Fieldhouse against Kansas. I think he went for 48, triple OT game. And what's crazy about that game to me is he does the post-game interview with, I think, Brett Musburger's on the call. Kansas fans stayed towards the end of that interview, stayed till after he's done the interview and stood up and was clapping after the game. One of the best individual performances I've ever seen. Where does that rank for your basketball memory on individual performances that you've ever seen one of your players?
Well, it's probably the best. And it's not because of the numbers, because Trey Young has had bigger numbers and did it in a different way. But the way Buddy did it in a place like Allen Fieldhouse made it stand out as being the best because it was one of those nip and tuck games the whole way through. No one had bigger than a probably 6-point lead throughout the whole game. We was number 1 in the country. They was number 2 in the country in either polls. And coming into the game, no one gave us a chance. And the real number 1 stand up, I remember Brent Musburger stand up, and Buddy stood up. And he wanted to win that game so bad. His will, his determination was off the charts. So he just kept making big shots every time we needed them for those last 15 minutes of overtime. I mean, every 5-minute overtime, he did something special, did something different. And that right there elevated his status with those fans. And those fans appreciate basketball. They know good basketball when they see it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for them to stay around and give him a standing ovation and cheer him on, that was really, really special. You get validated when that happens.
Yeah, it was incredible. Head coach of East Central University, former Razorback assistant Chris Crutchfield. Coach, appreciate you carving out some time for us this morning.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Todd, Tommy. You guys have a good rest of the day. Okay?